We have some brand new features inside of Runway and Pika Labs. We'll take a deep dive into Sora, and Adobe just announced a new music tool that is probably going to change the way that we edit and create songs forever. This is your AI film news of the week. First off, I'd like to thank the TV Academy for inviting Shelby to come out and share the process of creating AI productions, along with our vision for creating a democratized storytelling future. We'd also like to thank USC for inviting Shelby to come out and speak about the ethics of AI, along with the Sun Valley Film Festival in Idaho for having her come out and talk about AI productions. Shelby has really been on the speaker circuit lately. And that brings us to our first story, and of course, this is the most important story, and I am talking about the Willy Wonka experience in Glasgow. Have you seen this? It's absolutely hilarious. Basically, some people put together a landing page with the help of AI that basically talks about this Willy Wonka experience, and it has this beautiful enchanted garden and an imagination lab and a twilight tunnel. And then when people showed up, they got this. And it's basically a warehouse with some really cheap props and some tapestries on the wall and a bouncy house. And the very best part was this Oompa Loompa. In tool news, Runway came out with a brand new feature inside of their motion brush tool. It basically allows you to automatically select elements inside of your scene. It's really easy to use. So I'm inside of Runway Gen 2. All you have to do is go to the motion brush tool and make sure you have auto detect area selected. So basically now we can go in and select different parts of our frame, and you can see it creates an outline automatically, which makes it really easy for selecting certain aspects. And the cool part is, because it's a multi-motion brush tool, you can select different brushes here, and then we can go in and select different parts of our frame like this, and go in and adjust the movements and animation and all of that. Now, the thing that I should point out, and I didn't really realize this at first when I started using this tool, is you don't actually have to select every single pixel of the part of the frame that you're trying to select. If there's some edges here, like with this stuffed animal character, that are peeking through, it's totally okay. It still will animate it. The brush is really an approximation, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Pika Labs also came out with the ability to automatically add synced lips to your footage inside of Pika Labs. This works by uploading an image and adding in lips, and also adding in video. If you add in video and then sync the lips, you can get longer generations, so I do recommend going with that route. It's really easy to use. Let me show you how to use it. To use the tool, just go to Pika Labs and then go to the image or video button and select the video or image that you want to add synced lips to. I have this animated shot that was actually animated inside of Pika Labs with a Runway image, and I want to add lips onto this character, and go ahead and click open. So now all you have to do is go to the lip sync, and we will upload our file. I have a voice from 11 Labs. Let's take a listen.
Listen to me carefully. I've made my decision. Tomorrow we attack the enemy castle at dawn.
Okay, cool. So we'll import that into Pika Labs, attach and continue, and then click generate. Okay, the render took about a minute. Let's check out our final result.
Listen to me carefully. I've made my decision. Tomorrow we attack the enemy castle at dawn.
Okay, so this is one of the best generations that I've seen using this tool. It does a great job with animated styles. Now, we also ran some experiments that were more grounded in reality or at an angle, and the results were definitely mixed. So it's not a perfect tool, but it is incredibly easy to use. You'll find a link below this video to check out Pika, and we also have the assets that I just used in case you want to download them and play around with this tool. There's also a new white paper that came out this last week called Emote that basically converts your images into animated faces with just audio. Now, we've seen tools like this in the past. This one seems fairly realistic, and the results are very impressive. So we have this image of Audrey Hepburn here, and we add in some audio, and here is the result.
I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. We were just kids when we fell in love.
So as you can see, the results are pretty realistic. It has eye blinks, it has the eyebrows that raise, the cheeks expand. And I think that this underlying technology is actually going to push tools like the new Pika lip sync tool even further. So within about 3 to 6 months, we're going to have user-facing lip sync tools that look absolutely incredible. This really reminds me of a demo that we saw recently of Flawless AI, which is really branding itself as a very high-end industry tool for converting films into other languages with lip sync, and it looks very realistic. You can check out the link to Flawless below this video as well. Last week, we talked about Sora and how some of the renders are taking a while. For example, a 1-minute clip can take up to an hour to render. And some people mentioned that those render times are actually not that bad, especially when you compare them to a modern VFX pipeline, and we totally agree. So this week, we wanted to talk about some awesome features inside of Sora that aren't getting as much attention, but we think are really big deals. You'll find a link to a page below that talks about Sora being a world generator, and that's what makes this so unique compared to other AI video tools. It's actually creating a world and understanding how objects live. So the first feature I want to talk about is image to video. So Sora, like so many video tools out there, allow you to take an input image and animate it. So we have this footage of this dog here. He blinks. The camera is a little handheld and the parallaxing in the background looks realistic. It also looks very interesting for motion design. So we have this 2D image of these monsters here, and then it animated the monsters, and it looks pretty darn good. It would have taken quite a while to rig all these characters in a animation tool like After Effects. It's also capable of doing visual effects. So we have this cloud image that says Sora, and it animates with particle physics. Now, obviously, you may want to go in and clean up a few of those things using some rotoscoping techniques, but it looks really good. There was also this example of this wave inside of a museum, and the guy's surfing, and he does turn into 2 surfers there at the end, but the water simulation is really, really impressive. It also has the ability to extend videos, so you can make videos longer. So there's an example here of this trolley car inside of San Francisco. Basically, they added new intros to the beginning of each video example here. And it's really interesting to imagine that in the future, if you needed a longer take, or perhaps you wanted to transition from some crazy sci-fi world into reality, you'll be able to use tools like Sora to make that happen. It also has the ability to create infinite loops. So there's this amazing example on their website of someone riding a bike, and basically it blended the video together to where they basically ride in a loop forever. It also has the ability to stylize footage. So think about a really advanced Runway Gen 1 style experience. We have this input footage of a car driving through a forest, and then we can change it to a jungle. And here are the results. They look absolutely fantastic. It also has the ability to combine 2 different videos together. So there's this really great example of a butterfly basically flying underwater or through a Roman Colosseum that gets converted into this underwater scene. There's this really weird like lizard mixed with a bird character. And of course, this lion running after a Jeep is just absolutely fantastic. There's quite a few other features that we could talk about here. Now, of course, everyone's question is, when can we use Sora? And the truth is, we don't know when we'll be able to use it, and we also don't know what that user experience is going to be like. But of course, Sora is likely going to change the way that we do creative video production forever, and we can't wait to check out the tool. And if anyone wants access to Sora, we found this video on X that perfectly sums it up with some lip syncing from Pika Labs.
Thinking about getting your hands on Sora? Forget it, it's not available.
So there you go. There was also a new tool announced this week called LTX Studio that seems really interesting and is really branding itself as an all-in-one platform for creating AI stories. The tool is on waitlist right now, so you don't actually have the ability to go in and test it yet. But basically, what we can tell from the marketing is you will be able to create storyboards with consistent characters all in one place, art direct those storyboards, and then animate them. So it's an all-in-one experience that allows you to hypothetically create a rough AI film all in one place. It's a really ingenious way of thinking about the process of putting an AI video together. There are many different tools for performing different tasks in an AI video production pipeline, but having a tool that consolidates a lot of those tools together will likely save time and be an interesting alternative. Adobe also announced that they are working on a brand new music tool that allows you to do a lot of really impressive things. First off, the song allows you to convert simple songs into dynamic styles. And you also have the ability to customize the song. So unlike tools like Suno, where you basically have the ability to create a verse and then a chorus, with the Adobe Music tool, you can go in and customize and say, I want chorus, verse, then chorus, or customize your song further. You also have the ability to create loops from text prompts. So in the video example, they had this song. Okay, that's not bad. I was curious because in the video, they actually have their prompt groovy rock in there. So I basically went to Suno, typed in groovy rock, and then clicked instrumental version 3 and generated a song. And this is the song quality that I got from there. It basically sounds like some pretty basic stock music, but not bad. I think this Adobe Music tool is a bigger deal than we realize because this will really elevate some of these AI workflows from just pre-visualization and creating experimental concepts into legitimate post-production pipelines that can be used on high-end projects. I'd also like to extend a huge congratulations to Project Aeon for joining the NVIDIA Inception program. It was actually founded by a Curious Refuge student named Dan, and it creates automatic videos for publishers to create videos of their content, so articles or reviews into automatic videos. It's really an incredible tool, and we'll actually be doing a live stream with Dan inside of our program on March 7th. So if you're a student at Curious Refuge, feel free to hop in and you can ask Dan all the nerdy questions about his incredible tool. Google also announced that it plans to relaunch Google Gemini soon. They actually lost $70 billion in market evaluation on the news that they had to take down their image generator. And to create a little context for what was happening with Google's image generator, basically they went in and added in mandatory diversity into their photos, but that doesn't make sense when you prompt in certain things. So for example, people typed in founding fathers and there were founding fathers that were African American, and it didn't really make any sense. There were also people that prompted in Vikings and popes. So this really does bring up a much larger conversation. Obviously, you want AI models to not reflect the biases that are inherent inside of our data, but you also want them to be factually accurate and historically helpful whenever you are prompting in images. So it's definitely a back and forth, and I'm really surprised that Google missed the mark so big with the launch of their image tool. And speaking of Google, we actually came across an interesting conversation point this last week where, we really feel like ChatGPT and Google, they kind of battle it out. But when you actually use Google Trends to see what is being searched for more, it's not even close. On its best day, Google Gemini is 11 times less popular than ChatGPT. So ChatGPT still seems to be the language model of choice for the world. And in so many tests, whether we're talking about custom GPTs or just simply the knowledge base and its ability to be more creative with less limits, ChatGPT is still our preferred language model. This last week, we also dropped a podcast episode with Julie Wieland, who goes by Julie W Design online. She shared a lot of good insights for how AI is shaping graphic design. She also shared some pro tips on working on AI projects, specifically how she gets such high quality from her work. And she also went into a lot more detail about how she's able to make more money as a graphic designer using the power of artificial intelligence. And while we're talking about AI design, I want to point out that enrollment is open for our AI advertising course. This is our very first session ever, and we will likely sell out yet again. We have people from some of the largest brands and ad agencies inside of this program, and we can't wait for you to learn alongside them. We also have enrollment open for our AI filmmaking course if you want to learn how to use AI to assist with every aspect of the film production pipeline. You'll find a link below this video. This is already our biggest session ever, so congratulations to everyone who was able to snag a spot. And that brings us to our AI films of the week. I want to kick things off with a project from Nicholas Newbert. Nicholas works at Runway and is basically one of the best AI art directors in the world. He did this really interesting project called Not a Dystopia, and it features some really good curation, and it kind of has this Kylo Ren meets high fashion vibe, which I think looks very good. So great job on that, Nicholas. Next up, we have this project called Earth Home Turkey Farm from Siki Wang, who actually created this during the MIT hackathon recently that our instructor Dave Clark actually spoke at. And the project is really funny. It's kind of like a travel video for Earth after humans have basically just decimated the planet. And it's a really good use of motion design and sound design to create a cinematic atmosphere. So I recommend checking it out. You'll find a link below this video. And our final film of the week comes from Justin Kaplan, who put together this AI music video concept. I think that it has some really good consistent shots. Some of the simulations, especially with the water, look absolutely fantastic. And I think it really does showcase the potential of using AI for music videos. And finally, a research team from UC San Francisco basically said that AI can now predict Alzheimer's disease up to 7 years in advance. By diagnosing the disease earlier, they're better able to treat the patients and increase their quality of life. Thank you so much for watching this episode of AI Film News. Of course, like always, you can subscribe over on Curious Refuge to get AI film news directly to your inbox every single week. And if you want to subscribe here on YouTube, you will be the first to get AI film news, tutorials, and the latest AI content. Thank you so much for being an awesome member of the Curious Refuge community. We'll see you in the next one.